Hi, this is Adam from Small Town Machine Shop, and today we're going to look at the table for the Delta DP220 drill press. Now, with most used drill presses you get, there's going to be some table damage. Apprentice marks, pecker tracks, whatever you want to call them. And you're going to have to really decide how much they bother you. Most of the time, they have no effect on the usability of the drill press. They're unsightly. I understand that. You can fill them with a few different things. If you just want them flat, you can fill them with a 2-part epoxy. Clean the holes out real good. I would, depending on the thickness of the casting, because most of these tables are cast iron. You got to be careful about how much heat you put in a certain spot because it could warp. I've never really had that problem, but and again, the use you're going to have for your drill press and how accurate and flat you need the table to be. A lot of the times, the best option is just to get a piece of, like, I wouldn't recommend anything thinner than 3/8. Just put a plate on there and make a new table. You know, drill a hole in it and stuff, and you'll be fine. What I'm going to show you today is how I've had good luck with this. I did one here. Now, it is shinier than the rest of the table, but the rest of this table needs to be shined up anyway. It's perfectly flat. And what I use are, I can't find the bag right now, but they're solder slugs that are pre-filled with flux. So, and the way I'm going to do it, I heat up one area. It's very unlikely it's going to warp the table. So this is more just get them filled up. And as you see, with just a little bit of sanding, it really blends in. From the angle, it looks worse because the whole table needs to be a disc taken to it. So I'm going to show you how I do it. And you can use JB Weld. There's that, starts with a D. It's some kind of plastic stuff you can use. That works real well. Again, it all depends on how much they bother you. So we'll start on this one. We'll go to this one. And I'll show you what I do to fill these holes, and I'll give you another option. I'll bring you back. Okay, what we're going to do is fix this hole right here. What I use are these solder-filled, flux-filled solder plugs. And I use these for a lot of things. These things are handy to have around the shop. I use them on, of course, making battery cables and stuff like that. So first thing I'm going to do is clean up the hole by drilling deeper into the table. Okay. But nice and clean in there. Nice and clean, so zoom in there a little bit. Okay. Now, I'm going to go ahead and touch up the other 2 holes just while I'm in here. Get my drill is coming loose. This one a little bit deeper. By the way, see those little powders? That's how you know you got a cast iron table. So now what I'm going to do is we got to heat the thing pretty good. All I'm going to use is a MAPP gas torch. I do not recommend using a cutting torch or anything like that. Again, we don't want to warp it. We just want to heat it. So what I'm going to do, let's probably take 2 slugs for this one. I'm going to do some preheating here. Heat the area around it a bit so it doesn't just suck all the heat out of it. drop the slugs in there. Again, be careful, that's hot. You see them melting, you see the flux come out of them. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is heat it from the bottom. This is the key part here. More in there, being careful. One more in there. Got a little aggressive with that last one. Got a little greedy with it. Yeah. Melt it in. Okay, now what you're going to do, heat it from the bottom. You see the top flashed. That's fine. See, there we go, there we go. Pull that a little bit this way. There we go. See it flattening out? The heat. It's still a little hot. We're just going to push it down a little bit. There we go. You see it's already kind of flashing. There we go. We got extra in there. That's exactly what we want. And as you can see, with the cast iron table, I can already rest my arm on the side of this. Draw it out just a bit. Still pretty hot. There we go. So now we're going to let that sit for just a minute. I'll bring you back after it's sat. Okay, that's cooled enough to where I can touch it. So I'm going to take a flap wheel. Sorry, I don't know how loud that was through the camera. There you go, see? Nice and flat. So I gotta take a little bit out there, and we can touch that up with some solder. Now to do any holes around here, depressions here, you need to put something in here to block the solder to keep it in. Obviously, or that's a slope. It's gonna run down it. As you can see, fills it in nicely. It's still just a little bit high. That's what that dark shadow is. And I've never had a problem with them coming out. I've even taken a hammer, I don't want laying around here, and tap it on them. Sorry, I got a phone call there. cut into the video. I've never had them pop loose or anything on me. And again, you can do the same thing. If they're smaller holes, I know this sounds counterintuitive. I would drill them bigger because more surface area for the solder to hook to. And you could even do this with flux, normal flux and silver solder. So yeah, there's an option for you. And that will, once I need to go over this whole plate with a wheel. As you can see, fill it nicely and they'll blend in nicely. So that's how I fill the holes in my table, depending on how much they bother me. Again, you're going to have to decide how much they bother you and if it's even worth addressing. So yeah, this is Adam from Small Town Machine Shop. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.